Well, motherfucker.
We're waiting for you to chime in, man.
Yeah, I know. I lost control of my screen there for a second. I mean, dude, fucking
Smooth,
werewolves.
smooth roll, brother.
So we have with us today Simon Sanchez from Trauma Comics.
Hell
Howdy.
yeah.
Howdy from Texas.
Welcome.
Absolutely. Texas, that beautiful, beautiful state.
South of the United States.
Yeah, no, right? Its own little country. Me and my old lady, I was talking to her about moving to Texas. Like I love Texas. Whenever I go there, it's super clean. People are free with their cash. They love buying art and comics and all kinds of stuff like that. So
I've heard that like, because I've always wanted to do a convention in Texas. I was hoping to maybe do that like this year, because it can be an excuse to go down and visit my friends, and and also to a Southern con, which I've never done before. And everybody says that at the cons in Texas, people spend. That people actually buy like a lot of crap besides like those like Funko Pop bobbleheads.
Big spenders in Texas.
they do. So what we're here to do is talk about Simon's company, Trauma Comics. Simon, why don't you give us a lowdown on how Trauma came about and what made you go ahead and do comics such as Nazi Werewolves from Outer Space, Kung Fu Satanist, and King Tut Truck Driver.
The short answer is lack of therapy. No, it's I always I was a big fan of Ed Wood. Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Glenda.
Yeah, there you go. And there was a lot of goofy movies like Billy the Kid Meets Dracula. Disco Frankenstein. Just crazy titles. There was mashups way back then.
Blackula, Blackenstein.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so a lot of stuff like that existed, and I was kicking around titles with a buddy, and we just came up with Nazi Werewolves from Outer Space. I thought that would be funny, and it appeared as a one-page in the Stories from Hell book. That was my first attempt at a comic. And from there, I found Don Marquez on eBay, and I commissioned him to do, here's the original art right here, the Nazi Werewolf cover.
Oh, it's so cool.
So, yeah.
I love that cover, too. As a painter, I really dig that each one of the covers of Nazi Werewolves is completely painted.
Yeah, and, they're all paintings. And
in fact, I was trying to purchase one of those paintings from you, and you told me flat out no. You said, no, asshole. You can't have that paint.
They're one of a kind deal.
So. Are you planning on making posters of any of those paintings at some point? Or
what's that?
Are you planning on making posters of any of these paintings?
I always do. They have free comic book day in Houston, and I always go there, and I sell prints, and Dean Juliet is the interior artist, and he'll send some original art, head sketches, and I sell stuff like that when I do the free comic book day event. But current events have flushed all that down the toilet. So
yep,
yeah.
But to answer your question, I do sell prints of that cover, and that's everybody wants that print right there. But also, that one where you're scrolling down right there, that one where he's holding the dagger up.
Yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah.
That's a tribute to Suspense number 9. It was originally done by Alex Schomburg.
That's the newest book too. Just so that everybody knows. That's the newest Nazi Werewolves from Outer Space. I have it right here. That's the let me go through my stack.
Oh, cool.
Nazi Werewolves.
I appreciate you buying them.
Oh man,
dude,
Jump to
what
number 6. You could do, like,
with a title like Nazi Werewolves from Outer Space, how can you not buy it?
seriously, like if that were in a comic book store and like someone were to walk by and not at least pick it up and flip through it, I don't understand that cat.
Well, I'm a comic fan also, so when I designed the covers, I have that in mind. Yeah, there you go.
This is the most beautiful cover I think I've ever seen before in my life.
Oh, so cool.
I mean, just look at that. You got Hitler's head being held by a robotic gorilla, and a werewolf like putting a severed head on top of his gorilla body. Awesome, dude.
And it sort of has a Richard Corbin-y look to it. Am I? Would I be accurate in saying that?
Yeah, Don Marquez, man. I mean, he puts everything into it. Here's the cover
Really?
of issue number 2, and in this one, you have bondage, headlights, the needle in the eye, decapitation, cover. So yeah, it's pretty much got everything you can imagine.
Beautiful. I love it.
Were you thinking of like the Eerie Comics? I'm talking about the Eerie Comics label. They weren't like the Warren horror magazines. They were like the cheap knockoffs. And
that's exactly what that reminds me of. It reminds me of the old creepy and eerie, type of like
knockoffs
magazine.
Right? You have like a witch with like a witch with a wooden stake in her heart.
Yeah, those were called like Weird Tales, and creepy and eerie were more mainstream. But those other ones that you're talking about, there was a company called Skywald. And they did they had titles called Psycho, and they were really bizarre.
Yeah, trashy, but like just insane.
Yeah, but when you go to Overstreet and look up those pre-code horror stuff, selling points would be needle in the eye, bondage, headlight covers, decapitation.
Yeah,
those books always were big sellers. So on this one right here, on issue number 2, I wanted to combine everything imaginable, all on one cover.
Oh, God bless you, sir.
Yes. Yeah. And these are all beautiful paintings. It's acrylic.
They really are.
Yeah, it's acrylic that he's using on there.
I was looking at them. They are.
Nice.
They're fucking top notch, dude.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see on his sleeves there. See the little skulls.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, but back to the origin of Nazi Werewolves. I commissioned him to do that cover, and I've never written a comic, and I thought, well, that would be neat to have a story behind that. And I just sat down one day and cranked it out, and here we are. Working on issue 7 now. So that's the origin of it. And the other titles, Kung Fu Satanist, that was a tribute to Bruce Lee and the Exorcist.
Before we go into Kung Fu Satanist, I want people to realize that Simon just never put a lot of work is good. Like, this ain't bait and switch, just so that you know. Like, this is I got these books. I mean, it's definitely great art. Like, it reminds me of 70s style, maybe like 70s style comic art, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I wish comics look like that now. You know what I'm saying? At least they would have personality.
There's not a lot of dialogue in there. I let the art do most of the storytelling. There is some word balloons in there, but I just wanted to let the artist tell the story. And Dean Juliet is the interior artist, and he's from Brazil. And I've never spoken to him. He doesn't speak English. We just communicate by email. And I'll send him, the script, and he'll translate it. And he's always on the money. I do very few edits. He'll present the the rough draft, and it comes out perfect. And plus, I know you're an artist, and you probably hate when people want to micromanage art.
No, it's fine. I love it.
but I let the guy do his thing and try not to step all over it.
I can respect that, actually. I mean, because a lot of people don't realize, but comics are a two-part type of writing process, because you have to see it. You have to realize, like, a lot of the stories being told through pictures, besides being written out. And a lot of people try to control both, and you kind of can't. You just have to kind of let both. You have to have a little bit of like a synergy between the artist and the writer to be able to produce a successful comic series. And that's one thing I can say about Nazis. Like, Nazi Werewolves from Outer Space definitely has that. And like I said, these covers are fucking insane, but the artwork on the interior backs up the covers.
Here's that one you just showed. Here's that one.
It's a Preston homage.
I mean, it's beautiful. And look at this. Like, Simon's a sick fuck, dude. Look at these mutant spiders crawling out of this guy's face, dude.
I need this in my life.
I'll tell you where I got those mutant spiders from. There was it was a Twilight Zone, and it was called the Xanti Misfits.
Oh, no, I'm sorry to correct you, sir. It was actually the Outer Limits.
There you go, Outer Limits. Outer Limits. Yeah, it was called the Xanti Misfits, and I saw that when I was a kid, and man, that scared the crap out of me.
Me too.
And so
I love this scene too, like fucking the horses with human heads.
Right, and here's the cover for that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look at this crazy shit, dude. This is.
And see the spiders on there.
Yeah,
but
I can't push this series enough, dude. I just can't. Like, it is crazy good,
But yeah,
you need more eyes on you.
That was inspired by the Xanti Misfits.
Oh yeah, man. That episode scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah. It's comical by today's standards, but back then it was. It just blew me away.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, nightmares are very often silly and scary at the same time.
Right.
So, like, old episodes of The Outer Limits, stuff like that, I could still suspend my disbelief to just kind of just let them wash over me and do their thing.
Yeah, but Outer Limits was awesome.
Oh God. Yeah, I always argue that it was better than the Twilight Zone.
They were equally, they were great series, and they stand the test of time.
They really do. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Preston.
No, it's fine. Go ahead and ask your question. I'm still trying to, for some odd reason, it's giving me a problem bringing up Kung Fu Satanist.
Maybe you have to write it backwards.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Back in 666.
So Simon, when did you start writing comics?
Just with that Nazi. Well, it was the Stories from Hell was my first attempt at it, and that was kind of like a Tales from the Crypt rip-off, knockoff. It was my first attempt at writing comics, and that was I had some weird pages in there, like covers. I think I had vampire bikers in there, and but the Nazi Werewolves was in there, and so was Kung Fu Satanist. And it wasn't until the Nazi Werewolf book that I really sat down and put an effort into crafting a story, and making it all fit, and I'll just sit there and think, what would be cool to see in a comic? What would improve? I'm writing these books basically for me, and what I like, and what I do. And if other people like it, then it's great too. But I'm basically writing them for myself to amuse myself.
I'm the same way, brother. I'm the same way.
Yeah, just to amuse myself and just to see how far I could get with it. Just the fact that they appear in stores, still blows me away because I never thought it would get that far.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Well,
Kung Fu Satanist is that blew my mind, dude. Like that was that's so cool.
Yeah, and I named the character after his name is Arthur Brown, and Arthur Brown was a 1960s singer. He had a hit with it was called Fire.
Fire.
Exactly.
I want you to burn.
That's Arthur Brown. So that's who I named Kung Fu Satanist after. And what it is he's a martial arts expert who dabbled in black magic and had this demon attached to him. And the demon feeds off of souls. So Arthur Brown is a private investigator, and people hire him, and he'll go after these bad guys, and he'll sacrifice their souls to his Dark Lord. I named the Dark Lord Iska, just as a weird combination of letters. And then someone pointed out that stood for International Sports Karate Association. And I was like, wow, it was really, it was a takeoff on Pazuzu. Pazuzu was the demon in The Exorcist.
Yep.
And so I named him Iska, just as random letters put together. And yeah, someone pointed out that was like, oh yeah, that's International Sports Karate Association. I thought, well, okay, I meant to do that.
I'm sure they would appreciate the mention.
Now I don't know if they want to be associated with the Kung Fu Satanist, but anyway.
Dude, the art in Kung Fu Satanist, like I said, it's good, dude. Like it is really good.
Yeah, if I could find the art to that. And that's a fun series, and that was another just like a weird mashup. Okay, here's the cover to Kung Fu Satanist.
Is that on canvas or is that on illustration board?
Let's see. You probably know more about it than I do. There's the back.
Yeah, that's it looks. That might be canvas. I think that is canvas, like that Frederick's hard canvas.
Yeah, I'm sure it's canvas.
Sir, why is that not in a frame and proudly displayed on your wall?
I've got a ton of crap on my wall, so
he's got a Kirby.
Yeah.
Before we go too much further into it, I want to say hello to J Money and Hex Harper.
What up, Hexy?
For dropping in the chat. And if anybody's got any questions for Simon, please feel free to post them in there, and we'll talk some shit.
Howdy, Christopher.
and Christopher Troy.
Preston. Yeah, thanks for joining us, folks. Greatly appreciated.
I did.
We're looking at some great comics here.
Before we go any further, let's dig into the meat of the situation. And wait, with Kung Fu Satanist, do you have another issue out, or you just have issue 1 at the moment?
No, there's issue 2. There's an issue 2. Let me see if I can find that one. Issue 2 dealt with it was a real life drug dealer. It was in Mexico, and they had kidnapped these college kids and started mutilate them to protect their drug trade. Yeah. Here's the cover to issue 2.
I've seen that. For some odd reason, Indie Planet is giving me
Preston, can you blow that up?
Bad time on trying to find your book, like really bad.
Yeah. But in issue number 2, he travels to Mexico and fights this drug dealer because he has black magic powers too, and his name's El Toro, and he's sacrificing college kids to protect his drug trade. And there's the kid on the on the operating table, and he just keeps severing parts. To sacrifice.
Dude, I love these covers. Like these covers are
fantastic.
You definitely have a good eye for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but that's his girlfriend ends up getting possessed, and that's her in the cover.
Beautiful.
And I want to welcome Blue Samurai. Blue Samurai.
What up, Blue?
To the chat. So yeah, all right. Well, let's go on because we got so much to cover with King Tut, truck driving pharaoh.
Okay.
You got to give us a lowdown on this, dude. Like, give
Here
us
it
the
is.
whole story about King Tut. Yes, it's amazing.
Freaking awesome.
That was another just a weird mashup of words that just rolled off my tongue. King Tut, truck driving pharaoh. And in that first issue, it's a tribute to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
You know, because in that issue, he fights the subterranean transgender vampires.
Sold.
Yeah. So that's that an issue. That issue, he fights and that's you can see the vampire right here.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah.
I still got to get a hold of this.
Yeah, the subterranean transgender vampires. And so they're after King Tut because they want King Tut's blood so they can have immortality. So that's yeah. So here's the cover to issue number 2. And in this issue, he fights the radioactive trailer trash.
Oh,
so you can see there's a shotgun wedding going on.
Give us a little info. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a shotgun wedding going on. There's Bubba, the four-armed mutant, and so.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's a lot going. And then you can see the nuclear silos in the background. So
right, you got to give us what's the origin of King Tut, truck driving pharaoh? Tell us about the story and about the character. Origin.
Well, they're transporting his body back out of a museum, and one of the transgender vampires, accidentally opens up the coffin because they want his body so they break into the 18-wheeler that's transporting him, and so they that's King Tut and his sister are in the truck. His sister was his wife in real life. Yeah. So anyways, he's brought back to life, and the vampire bites his girlfriend, and King Tut awakens, and the chaos starts after that. Yeah. Trauma ensues.
So is he like a universal style mummy where he basically has immortality because of Tana leaves or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
3 Tana leaves.
Did he possess a truck driver or something like that?
Well, he once he gets attacked by these vampires, he fights them off, but he's in the 18-wheeler, so he fancies that as his new chariot, and that's what he uses to.
He's bold.
Yeah, that's what he uses to get around in the modern world. So, and plus he's got a buddy there who was a curator from the museum that was on the truck, and he's kind of like his sidekick that helps him in this new world. So the vampires are after him because they want his blood, and there's some of the scene. Yeah, there's a cool scene in there where they're chasing down the truck.
I love this, dude. I love this.
He's all buff. Is he like Sylvester Stallone and Over the Top, where he has a weight set and everything, where he can work out while he's truck driving?
I patterned him after Yul Brynner.
Oh, that's I could see from the cover. So shall it be written.
Yeah, so I patterned him after Yul Brynner, but it's all tongue in cheek, and it's meant to be fun, and there's no.
That's one thing I can say about everything you put out is that it just feels fun. You know what I'm saying? It's so badass, dude.
The only flack I ever got was Nazi Werewolves, and this guy from Germany contacted me, and
get out.
Yeah, well, he was really upset about it, and I not really upset, but he just wanted to know why Nazi. Why did you put that in there? And I said, well, it's been done. It's really been done to death. It was in Jones, Hellboy. There was even a comedy called Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, that dealt with the Nazis. So it's been incorporated into movies.
Did the Nazis actually
And the
have
Nazis-
like a special like group that they had in their military
Yeah.
called the Werewolves?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
Also,
That was after the war, actually.
and they were also operating, and this is a true story. It was called the Bell. It was a experimental craft.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, it was it was a cult, wasn't it? The Bell?
No, the Bell was this experimental craft that they were working on that would fly. And so I did incorporate that into the
anti-gravity.
Yeah.
They were working. Their scientists, the German scientists, the rocket scientists, they already had like jet planes.
Right.
Yeah. They had the technology. They just didn't have the manufacturing base anymore because of all the bombing.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were supposedly working on trying to figure out anti-gravity.
Right. So I incorporated that into the storyline, and I think in issue 4 is the origin of Adolf Gorilla and how he became to be. And but that story, the Bell, is in there, and some way I want to incorporate the Roswell deal into it also.
I like that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've seen they saved Hitler's brain.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of crazy.
His severed head is like basically like chauffeured around in like the back of the limousine.
Yeah. Well, when I designed that cover, I had him with a gorilla body and a cyborg arm.
That's awesome.
And I explained it. I had to do some thinking, like, how the hell do I explain that? Come up with ideas and think, okay, now I got to go work backwards and figure out how this stuff works.
That's what I always tell people when you're telling your story. Always have your ending.
Yeah,
that's what I do. I work my way backwards.
I don't have any plot line or anything planned out. This is stuff that just literally me just sitting here saying, okay, what would look cool in a book, and so I'm making it up as I go.
That's cool. That's my favorite cover, dude. And that gorilla Hitler is like the coolest thing I've ever seen before in my life. Like, it's nuts.
Gorilla cyborg Hitler.
I have to ask too. Simon, did you get any blowback from any type of justice warriors about using transgender vampires in your?
Yeah, I've waited for that, and because that book came out a couple of years ago before all this political correctness really set in, and there's nothing. In fact, in the book, the transgender vampires are I mean, they're fierce warriors. I mean, they're badass people. So there's nothing knocking them. I just thought it would be cool to have something like that in a book, and explore that territory. And how when I started the story about it, it was a tip of the hat to Rocky Horror, and
I get that, and you're very clear on, even in the book you're clear about it, because the vampire looks like the dude from Rocky Horror, right?
Right, and Tim Curry was a cross-dressing alien.
Yeah, but like with today's climate's so bad and so sensitive that I'll be honest, I got attacked from making a woman's boobs and hips bigger than what they said an average woman looks like, but I actually use live models. So the person I used to actually do this cover actually looked like that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just thinking, like, I got attacked because of that. Like, I can only imagine what kind of blowback you got for using transgender vampire.
The book is positive, and I've had some transgender people tell me that, hey, that's out of all the books you've done, that's my favorite, because that's a subject that's not addressed. I mean, in comics, and I portray
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
And plus, I portray them as fierce individuals and fighters. I mean, I'm not belittling them at all. And so, but I have been contacted by people who are transgender and told that those are my favorite books.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I'm glad you're getting positive feedback on that.
Yeah. So I don't mean anything negative by it. It's just something I thought would be cool in a book, and plus, subterranean transgender vampires. That, how could you turn that down?
Now, Simon, when are
know.
you going to mail this painting off to me? Like you said.
Yeah.
Well,
Also,
the problem.
Go ahead.
But, I was going to
go
say
ahead.
the problem nowadays, Simon, is that people don't need to read your book before they know that they want to burn it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, my goodness, man. It's wow. I don't even know where to begin, because people catch heat these days over just the silliest stuff. I can imagine like an SJW just being like knocked upside the head by this.
Well, you know what? I don't have a distribution on the deal on these books, and so I've been calling stores and saying, hey, do you sell indie books? Can I sell my book there? And then they'll go, okay, what you got? And Nazi Werewolves from Outer Space, and and I have there's maybe one store that turned me down, but I've sold. You know what I did one time? I did a signing in New York. It was called Carmine Street Comics.
Yeah,
nice.
And it was well received there. And I did a signing in Florida, and of course here in Texas, and. But I've sold those books all across the United States, and they usually sell out. And I've never had,
dude. Yeah. Like this is way different than anything else that's out there right
now. And I knew I could do a superhero comic. I thought, man, I'm gonna screw this up, and so I just went for something weird,
Before we even knew each other, I don't know how I stumbled across Nazi Werewolves, but just the name sold me. Like it almost didn't matter to me what was on the inside of the book.
I think I tried to commission you for a children's book. I think that was that.
It might have been. I don't know.
There was an artist that I think it was you, and it didn't work out, but
that's how I stumbled upon Nazi Werewolves, because you had it on your profile picture.
But I had you do was it Adolf Gorilla or a Nazi Werewolf?
It was Adolf Gorilla.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, man, can you do this for me? And it came out awesome. I don't have that with me right now. If you want to pull up your, I don't know if you have that handy, an image of that.
I don't. No, but you know what I want to ask you too, because there's a story behind your Trauma logo, right? Like the logo for Trauma Comics.
You talking about that image there,
the head?
Yeah, that was my brother passed away, and he designed that, and so that's a tribute to him, and I make sure that appears. I didn't have it on the first issue, but every issue after that, I put that on there. And also, I strongly urge creators out there to trademark your stuff, not copyright, trademark. There's a difference there. Go to a lawyer and fill out that form and trademark your stuff. There's a whole involved process in that, and I strongly encourage creators of indie books to do that, because it protects your creations.
Yeah. Well, so, I actually got into a lawsuit with a huge company, and like I was told, like everything they tell you is true. Like when you draw something, the moment your pencil hits the paper, it's yours. It's copywritten. But the difference is that if you don't get a legal copyright, you aren't entitled to any residual funds that are made from the artwork. So, say if Brian decided he was going to take one of my logos or my art and go ahead and sell it and make $1 million, and I sue him and I send him a cease and desist, I'm not entitled to any of the money that he made from it unless I have a legal copyright. All I can do is stop from using it.
Right. So I encourage people to do the trademark, and it's an involved process, and it's kind of pricey, and you need a lawyer for it, really. I mean, you could do it online by yourself if you were savvy enough, and but it takes like a year to process, because they got to go through the internet and every other media to search and see if anybody else has done something similar to what you've done.
Yeah.
and then a year later you'll get they'll tell you yes or no.
That's good advice. I think I got to do that too. I think everybody. I don't think any of us did that.
Yeah,
I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can do that because Six Gun Gorilla is a public domain character. So even though I just took the title, all the characters, everything is mine. Just having taken the title, I don't think I could do that.
Well, I think you have to register it.
I would give it a shot to register it and see if they say yes or no. But it takes about a year to get through, and then after the 5-year mark, they come back to you again, and they ask you, "Hey, is this still in use? And do you want to reapply for it?" Of course, you want to do that process, and then that whole 5-year period is that if somebody was get a lawyer.
His wife's a lawyer.
Yeah. So, but anyways, for all the creators out there, trademark and copyright your stuff. It'll pay off for you. But I have a trademark for the Trauma Comics and the Nazi Werewolves. They're two separate trademarks.
Now, I think what you need is a registered mark, because that's the reason why Dynamite, like they registered the title, like the Black Terror, so nobody else can use the Black Terror on the title of their book, even though it is a public domain character, right? So
you can use the Black Terror in your book, but you can't use it in the title.
You can't use it in the title, exactly.
Right. Gotcha.
Or you can't. Yeah, that's the way it works. And so yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of legal shit, and it's very difficult to understand. That's why you're right. Simon's absolutely right. You need a lawyer to help you go through. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of lawyers I trust. I'm not talking about your wife, Chris. I trust your wife. But there's a lot of other lawyers out there that, it's really hard to get a good lawyer to go ahead and help you out with stuff like this.
Change the subject here, back to the art. Here's a really cool, this is a double-page spread that from Dean Juliet.
Oh, nice. What is that from? Which one?
That's from that's from the first issue number 1. I don't know if you can see that shows up. There you go. Wait, let me see. There you go.
Oh, that's from Werewolves. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And here's
any of that for sale?
If you there's the original pencil art.
Nice.
Yeah, I do that too. That's awesome.
So that's Dean Juliet, and that's his. He does all the interior art, and he's outstanding. He's just a great. And another cool fact about Dean is that he pencils, inks, colors, and letters the entire book.
Wow. So he's like a one-man band.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah, he's badass.
It's very rare to have an artist that's proficient in everything. You know what I'm saying? And
seriously,
he can do it all.
When did you first start doing this? Like, was it in the 90s, the 80s?
I think this is year number 8, or maybe, I've been doing it for like 8 years. Because it's expensive to put these books together. Because you got to pay the artist, you got to pay the cover artist. And then when the books, those books are not that cheap to print, because these are all full color books. And I just put an ad on the back, and that's it. They're basically ad free. And
we're very familiar with the price on getting them. Now here's where I think we have, like, I've got a break on top of a lot of other people, is that I write and draw my own books, so I save huge amounts of money with that by saving that expense. The only thing I really have to pay for is printing and coloring, because I'm not a proficient colorist. And being a good painter is way different than being a good digital colorist.
Yeah, there's a whole art to that, man.
There's a world of difference between coloring panels and coloring a cover.
You got to put those flats in there and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Man. It's very involved, and like I said, I don't pressure the guy to with a timeline, because he's doing everything, and you want it to come out right, and then the final part is editing the dialogue to make sure all of it makes sense, all the commas where there should be, and sentences make sense, So yeah, it's fun though. It's a labor of love.
It shows.
To Blue Samurai, thanks for stopping by. I am posting links to Simon's books in the chat right now, and there'll be links in the description once the show's over with.
Oh,
You might
Michael,
have to
said,
do a
hey.
little bit of Indie Planet doesn't seem to be cooperating very well with pulling up Simon's books. Simon, I think you might want to go in there and just put a either put your name or Trauma Comics as one of the tagline for your books. That way it'll be easier to search out. That way when people go through and they're like, hey, I've seen Simon's shit, maybe I'll go check it out. Like
another thing I would encourage people who do indie books is get famous artists to do your work, and you can put those on your fan page. Yeah, there you go. I got Preston to do some stuff for me. So, but here's a good example. There's Neil Adams, Nazi Werewolf.
That's fucking
so
awesome,
cool.
dude.
Oh man, beautiful.
And also he did Adolf Gorilla.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm a huge Neil Adams fan. Like,
Yeah,
you know, he
too.
does have kind of a bad attitude, but
And
he's like the bad boy of comics, though. You know what I'm saying? He started out as a greaser. Yeah.
But in issue number 2, there's a on the back page, there's a zombie Hitler by Arthur Swedem.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
really? Arthur Swedem? Nice, dude. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
issue number 2. If you got that handy right there, if you flip to the back.
Did he
Issue-
paint it, or did he?
No, it's an ink drawing, and I believe it's on the back page. But I asked him just as a joke, like, "Hey man, could I put this in my comic?" He's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And
Well, I met Arthur, and
That's awesome.
a lot of people say like Arthur's a bad guy, like don't talk to him and
No,
stuff
no.
like that.
super nice.
One of the nicest guys I've ever met before in my life, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
If
oh,
you flip
sweet.
it to that
This is
back
it right
page,
here.
no, the last
Oh,
page.
very
Open
cool.
it up.
Oh, wait, hold on.
So
Boomer.
badass.
It's not the back page. It's the go to the flip it open. Should be right. There it is.
Oh, badass.
Yeah,
That's
that's
creepy as
badass,
hell.
dude. Now I want
Yeah.
you to look at that. Look at the female werewolf.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah. And that story right there, Jack's mother got bit, and she becomes when you get bit by one of the zombies, you don't turn into a zombie, you turn into a mutant werewolf.
What is?
Yeah.
Who did this one right
that's
here?
amazing.
That's Ray Racho. He is from the Philippines, and that was another homage to, I think it was Vault of Horror, where the guy had the axe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's
but yeah,
beautiful, dude. Like, it's crazy good. Like, I would suggest anybody, dude. People check this stuff out, dude. This is some really cool shit. Like, people. The last show we put on, not a lot of people knew about Gunfighters in Hell, and now people are checking it out by Joe Vigil. And I'm telling you, if you like Gunfighters in Hell, you're gonna love Simon's work, because Simon's work is just as off the wall and just as good as far as art wise. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I mean, this stuff is crazy good.
yeah. When I designed the covers, I want it to be exactly like Brian said. When you're walking past a wall of comics, I want you to look at that and go, "What the hell is that?"
Exactly.
Yeah, what in the hell? Kung Fu Satanist? What? Who in the hell to put that out there? You know.
As soon as I get my next disbursement, I am buying all of these.
Okay.
They look fantastic.
Yeah. Well, cool. I appreciate it.
Oh, you got it, man.
Or maybe
Simon, do you market the artwork for your artist? Like, if they want to sell pages or something like that, do they go through you, or is it?
if you wanted to go to Dean Juliet and commission something, I mean, yeah.
No, I mean like buy pages from Nazi Werewolves.
I own all the original art.
You
All
fucking
of-
Nazi.
All of it.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. I gotta change this shirt. It's just itching like hell. Look at I look like Z-Man from friggin' Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Yeah. That I always admired William Gaines, from EC. That's and one of his policies was he kept everything. He kept all. I think the one guy that wouldn't let him keep art was Frazetta. Frazetta said, "No, you're not keeping this." But
yeah, Frazetta was really stern on. In fact, he used to cut people really good deals if they would let him keep the artwork.
Yeah.
I think he sold. From what I understand, like I talked to I'm actually friends with Ken Kelly, and Ken Kelly is Frazetta's nephew. And Ken is a very good artist. Like he was trained by Frazetta, and Ken works on the Kiss covers. Like he worked for Kiss doing Destroyer and stuff like that. But Ken said that he sold the original Death Dealer,
Oh yeah.
and then he regretted it and tried to repaint it and tried to fake it as like the original Death Dealer, and it didn't work out.
I had Ken Kelly recreate the Destroyer and Love Gun for me.
Oh, really? Dude,
yeah.
You mean in paint? Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, painted it?
Yeah, but these are scaled down because he wants huge bucks.
No, that's what I was about to say. Like, he wants like $20,000 or $30,000 to do it.
Yeah. These are if you go to his website, he'll do like a pencil drawing for I think it's like $500, but he did some painting and kind of that style where they weren't detailed, but they were cool. To have something from the original artist. Because I'm a huge Kiss.
Well, I like Ken's work, but I don't want a pencil sketch from Ken Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not known for his pencil sketches. Like I was always, because you see him at a show and he's always selling like Kiss head sketches for like $100 for a set. Right. Yeah. And I was always like, yeah, that's good, but I mean, if I get anything from Ken Kelly, I want a painting.
I'll send you.
Tiny,
I'll send you what he did. It's not a detailed deal, but he said, "I'll never do this again. This is, a huge pain in the ass." So I believe they're one of a kinds. I'm sure there are others out there that are detailed, but the ones he did for me they're pretty cool looking. Plus, they're from Ken Kelly.
Did you ever ask him what happened to the original Destroyer album cover?
Who has that? I thought Gene Simmons. I thought Gene Simmons had that. I don't know. That's a good question.
No, the original art from Destroyer. Like I was talking to Ken, and for some odd reason, he looked at it because I was like, "Dude, this was my favorite cover. I used to draw this all the time." And he's looking at it and he goes, I always thought about just reproducing it stroke by stroke, and just reproduce it exactly the way it was. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, the original got destroyed. And I was like, what happened? He goes, he said that he sold it to like this rich guy, right? And the guy's like, he's got mega bucks, and he had a pile of stuff that had to be hung and a pile of stuff that was being thrown out to the trash, right?
Oh.
And somehow the original Destroyer painting got mixed up in a pile that was going to the dump. And before he knew it, it was gone, and it was in the New York City dump somewhere. It's being destroyed by
gnawed on by New York City rats. And let me tell you,
the original Destroyer painting from the album Destroyer was completely annihilated.
Lived up to his title.
Exactly.
I almost puked right there in the middle of the show. I almost threw up.
No, I'm a huge Kiss fan. That was like the first concert I went to. I'm a lot older than you guys. It was 1977. I saw them here in Texas.
When they were at their peak.
I'm 57.
Brian's
51 over here.
Huh?
No, 51.
Yeah, I'm 57. In fact, I turned 57 yesterday.
Happy birthday, sir.
Yeah.
Belated happy birthday. My older brother was your age.
Oh.
Yeah.
I share a birthday with Roger Waters and Sergio Aragones.
Oh, that's pretty badass. I was born on the day that Night of the Living Dead was released.
Oh, I love Man of
October
Steel.
1st, 1968.
I've got
That's
that,
why you love horror so much.
Maybe.
I've got that poster, poster signed by Romero.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got.
I never had a chance to meet him, but everybody told me that he was a gentleman.
Oh, he was super nice. Yeah, at the con I went to, it was Romero, the girl who always appears in the poster. I can't remember.
Sean.
Yeah, she was there. Barbara was there. You know,
oh, nice.
Barbara. So yeah, I got a cool poster signed by everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Looks like our boy Hex shares his birthday with the evil Betty White.
Why is she evil? Why do you say evil?
Also, I want to make
Preston?
people aware, new Doc Salem merchandise.
I was thinking, as soon as I get my next disbursement, I'm buying some comics and I'm buying some T-shirts.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll do a mutual swap. I'll swap some of my comics for your comics.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, if you want to do that.
I can definitely get down with that. Also,
Most definitely.
I was going to ask you, like, well, we can talk off air, but I was thinking maybe I could do a commission or something like that, and maybe get a couple of copies of King Tut or Kung Fu Satanist. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah,
we can talk about it.
Have your people.
How far are you planning on bringing these books? Like, do you have an ending in mind on where you're going to end each one of them?
Like I said earlier, I'm just making this stuff as I go. I'm surprised I got this far with it. You know, so it's all it's fun. You know, it's a labor of love, and I don't have a. You know, your guess is as good as mine.
If there's one thing that the comic book industry is lacking right now, it's fun comics.
Yeah.
We need more of that, you know? And your stuff just looks jolly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything about Nazi Werewolves from Outer Space screams jolly.
I love it. I fucking love it, dude. I mean, it's some of the craziest shit.
Oh, I can't wait to read these.
And Brian kind of new to all of this stuff. Like, for a guy that's so deep into horror, I was like, you've never heard of Gunfighters in Hell or Nazi Werewolves or anything like that? He was like, oh, yeah. And I think that's the purpose of this show.
Not mainstream, you know. And I wanted
that's exactly. And I think that's the purpose of this show, is to bring people like you to light, so that people can see, like, there's stuff out there besides Marvel and DC, and, you know, besides us and our books and stuff like that. Like, there's guys like you, you know, that are being overlooked. Now, one thing, Simon, I have to ask you too, like, I know you go through Indie Planet for a lot of your stuff. And Indie Planet is there's no limit on their print runs. But are you going to make a limited edition of any of these?
Yeah, I'm going to start doing the version covers, and I'll probably do a limited run of those. I guess the main reason why I wanted the people have access to those books is, you know, I like that you can get to them, buy as many as you want, and I don't want to create kind of like, you know, where you got to pay big money for these books. I want everybody to be able to get to them. But the version covers, I do you want to, you know, have a limited run of those, you know. But the other ones, yeah, you know, I want people to have access to it. And, feel free to buy as many as you want.
Now, have you ever thought about doing? Have you ever thought about what's that, Brian?
No, I'm sorry. I said buy some for your friends and relatives.
There you go.
It's a great Christmas present. Nazi werewolves from space. Kung Fu Satanist, very, very festive.
Yeah, they
made thought of running a Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
They make great holiday gifts.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, right? Nothing better for Hanukkah than Nazi werewolves.
Yeah.
Oh,
now,
man.
Like, have you ever thought of doing an IGG campaign or something like that to go ahead and help fund the production of some of these books?
You know, you mean like Kickstarter?
Yeah, well, we use Indiegogo, but Kickstarter's another one too. Yeah.
Well, my understanding with those books, when you do something like that, you have to declare that income. So if you're not prepared for that, you know, tax-wise, that could have a substantial impact on your.
Yeah, but I mean, you kind of like tax wise. Like, I think it really affects you if you make over 20,000 or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
10 or 20,000. Like these guys who are raking in like $500 and $100,000 and $80,000, they better have some serious write-offs.
Yeah. To
Definitely.
answer your question, I like to control all of it, and
Yeah.
it's all self-funded. So I just don't like anybody stepping over everything, and because once you get into that, you gotta make sure that these people are compensated, because they have these different tiers. Or if you donate this amount, you
I
get
get it. You just don't want to be bothered with it. Like, it's
Yeah.
easier to go this way.
It really that's the short answer to it. Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, but for the people that do it, I say God bless you. Whatever floats your boat. There's
We do it. But you're
Yeah.
right. It is a hassle. Like, it's a hassle and a half, but you do what you got to do to get your stuff out.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat. If you're doing it and you make it work, I say rock on.
Well, we'll talk to you after
Now
the show and let you know, like, because we've been doing this stuff, we can always help you out if that's something that you want to pursue.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, Simon, you work for the Heritage Auction House? I don't know if you want to plug them or not.
I just do part-time work there. Right now I'm retired. And,
nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I've been retired for a year now, and I just do part-time work there. But I've been there for 16 years, and I'm a cataloger, and I've seen the crazy books that you can imagine. I've seen Action #1, Detective 27, all that fanboy stuff that'll just make you freak out. I've seen all of the Kirby original art. Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man 300 cover. It's all it's cool, man.
Yeah. Now, for people who think there isn't any money in collecting comics, how much do some of those comics go for at the auction?
Well, there's I'll send you a picture of me holding Detective 27. It was the highest graded Detective 27, and it sold for $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and the guy who sold it, he was the original owner. Bought it off the stand for a dime.
Wow.
Fuck
no,
dude, that is awesome.
That is awesome.
Dude,
Yeah, wow. Who had the state of mind to buy that book? Hold on to it for all those years, because it came out in 1939. And
can you imagine, like, the natural disasters we go through with floods and hurricanes and all that shit, and this guy held on to that book all these years.
Yeah, it was the highest graded Detective 27 book, and it sold for $1 million. So, but I've held Action #1, Detective 27, FF #1, all those. So that's a cool gig, and it's a fun job. It's where you can take something that you love and do it for a living. But but I enjoy the retired part of it more.
Well, now you got more time to write badass comics.
Yeah.
Or just lay around and watch TV.
And be like, what'll be cool?
I'm a living room guitarist, so most of the time I'm sitting around playing guitar.
Yeah, I've heard some of you playing though. You're pretty good. I really dig it. You ever played for a band or anything?
In my younger days, I did, but
Yeah.
Really, the comics and the guitars and stuff like that, it's just stuff to amuse myself, just to sit around and, play and have fun with it. And, I have no aspirations to be, anything other than just having fun.
Now, serious question. Like, did acid or any other type of psychedelics come into play when you were coming up with these ideas?
Peyote?
I'll neither confirm nor deny those rumors. I'll neither confirm nor deny those rumors, man.
Understood, sir. Understood.
Yeah, You read between the lines on that one.
Like, yeah, you're pretty close to where you can easily access peyote and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, if you can find the meaning of life in Nazi werewolves, I say, yeah.
Oh God.
Got me with you. Yeah.
So cool.
So
Well, we're crawling up on an hour, and I'm going to why don't you go ahead and tell everybody where you can be reached at, Simon, and like plug your social media.
find me on Facebook. I have my own personal page there, and I post a lot of silly stuff on there. So if you want to be amused, you can go to my Facebook page, Simon Sanchez. And for the Nazi werewolves, Kung Fu Satanists, King Tut, they all have their own fan pages, and I post original art there, updates on when the issues are coming out, and behind the sketches that the artists come up with, and people that I commission, people like Preston. His artwork will appear there. So if you want to tune in to any of those, Preston's a great artist. So if you want to check out his art, along with Neil Adams, and also there's a Jim Valentino Adolf Gorilla on there. So
I've seen that. Yeah, you let him do that live, right? Like at a show.
Yeah. So Preston, you're in great company with other great artists.
I'm in great company now. Well, I mean, except for Brian.
Yeah, except for me.
Yeah. So, anyways, go to the Facebook page and check it out there. And there's also links to Indie Planet there. Or if you want a signed copy, I don't charge anything extra, and I'll mail you a copy, and we can go from there.
I'm also going to put links to all of his Indiegogo. His Indie Planet links to his books in the description of this video, with whatever contact info he wants me to put down. So yeah, it'll be really easy for anybody to get a hold of these books, and I would suggest you guys do it. Like, Simon's a great writer, and he's got an eye for talent when it comes to putting these things together. And like I said, I'm a huge collector of Nazi werewolves, and it helped me immediately.
I hate to interrupt. Preston, but on the homepage for Kung Fu Satanist, I do believe there is a picture of the great Bernie Wrightson holding a copy of Nazi.
No way.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother.
Oh yeah. Bernie, I've met Bernie a couple of times, and I own an original piece from Bernie.
Oh, how jealous are you, Preston?
I am jealous. I do have a piece. I have that poster in the back by Bernie before he died.
The Frankenstein
before he died. No, it's the Swamp Thing. And I met him at a show, but this was after he was lobotomized. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't an intentional lobotomy. He had brain cancer, so they had to cut out a piece of his brain. But yeah, so they were trying to raise money for his medical bills and stuff like that. That's where I got.
He was super nice guy. And,
he was. Bernie was a little bitter about the industry when I first met him in '99, but he was an okay guy. I mean, he wasn't. He was just like any artist out there. I mean,
he was incredible art. I mean, just there's nobody out there like him. And
no.
Yeah. For horror,
he's right up there with Frazetta. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
There are like certain artists that have certain genres locked down, and for Frazetta, it's heroic fantasy. For horror, it was Bernie.
Yeah. Bernie was a nice guy, and
well, another thing about Bernie, which a lot of people don't know, is that Bernie could do it all. Like, he wasn't just a penciler. Like, he could paint. He was amazing. I mean, his etchings he did for Frankenstein were nobody can top that. Like, it was crazy.
I was fortunate to get that big poster with all the where Frankenstein's body's on the table.
Oh yeah, the laboratory. Super detailed.
I got that signed by Bernie.
Oh my god.
But he at one show he was selling. Of course, he always sold his original art, and I don't know if you know this, but he did Green Lantern. and so I got a Green Lantern
He
pencil.
did a lot of stuff for Marvel and DC, but Marvel and DC didn't know Bernie wasn't the normal comic artist, and they didn't know how to handle him. You know,
Right.
Bernie believed that his pencils were more important than having them being like they didn't need to be inked or colored. Like his pencils could stand on their own, but of course the editors probably knew better. So they had his art thoroughly ruined before it actually reached production.
I've got an original Green Lantern drawing in pencil from Bernie, and it was. I mean, it was the cheapest piece there. I mean, because when you went through his portfolios, man, they were expensive. And
Oh yeah, they were.
Rightly so, because they were jaw dropping, and I didn't have any money on me. And I was like, well, this is the cheapest one I can afford. So I'm happy to have his art and to have met him and talked to him, because I mean, he's another guy that I put up there with Kirby.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
One of the Titans. One of the Titans for sure.
All those, I would consider him a Titan big time.
Yeah. Now, Brian.
Yeah.
You need to plug anything, brother?
Well, people can get a copy of Six Gun Gorilla. The IGG campaign, the Indiegogo campaign, is still going, and we are, I think, about $500 from hitting 18K. Check out my man Simon's Tales from the Natverse, and Preston. People need to read Doc Salem.
They need to check out Doc Salem. The pages are coming in like crazy right now from the colors. He's working overtime to get everything out there. So Doc Salem would be ready soon, and I'm pushing hard for an October release. I just posted the link to Six Gun Gorilla in the chat if anybody wants to check it out, and give Brian your money. And Brian needs to get some tax write-offs too.
Seriously, help.
I'm not talking about hookers,
hook a brother up. But it is. I could say critically acclaimed, and everybody who reads it seems to love it, and I couldn't be more grateful for that.
And of course, you can reach me here, Twitter, Nikki the Pipe, Facebook, Art of Preston Asevedo, and we're going to see everybody later. This week and Friday is going to be, I'm going to have Greg Williams, Darkwing, Animal Mystic, Kalor. He used to work for Cyrus Publishing. I think it's going to be an insanely good show. We'll see you guys later. Take it easy.
Peace, love, and soul.
Now here's the